Hannah, welcome to the Tall Mom podcast. So great to have you with us today. Thanks for making the time to be here.
Oh my gosh. I was like, Calm Mom podcast. Will she allow me to get on? Like, I don't even know if I make the cut. Like, what? I want to be calm. I'm trying. I was so not calm even logging on, trying my phone and trying different computers. Like, whew, let's breathe. I have to be calm now.
But you're here now and it's perfect.
I'm
And
here.
this is going to be so
Yes.
good. Yes. Awesome. Okay. So we have an audience of moms who are excited to hear from you. Tell the people who you are and a little bit about the work that you're doing. I want to know too.
Oh yeah. All right. So I'm Hannah Keeley and I'm America's #1 mom coach. I've been really coaching moms for over 20 years. I've been researching the mom brain for about 15 of those years because I realized, wow, we have a totally different brain after you have a baby. And I have 7 kids. They're all grown. I got grandkids. And I run a ministry and a business to help moms. That's what I do.
That's awesome. Okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's start there because you mentioned mom brain. And I know it's something that you've been researching and talking about a lot lately. But let's kind of start with what that even means. I think a lot of us have an awareness that things become very different after we give birth. But I don't think we really understand like the physiology and how things are actually changing, not just our perception of them.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it really does. And so like you have to give yourself so much compassion because you don't have the brain after you have a baby. You know, it just, the wiring is totally different. You actually lose 4% of your gray matter when you have a baby. And so I'm sure some people are like, all right, why would God let me like lose my mind when I need my mind to help raise my kids? But actually it's really cool when you think about how our brain changes, because the #1 priority of your brain before you have a baby is just to keep you alive. That's what your brain is there to do, keep you alive. It's not there to make you successful. It's there to keep you alive. So a lot of times it operates by fear. Now, after you have a baby, the #1 priority of your brain becomes, how do I keep my kids alive? Now you have laid yourself on the altar, like you sacrifice yourself because now everything is around those kids. And so what happens is we start like to develop a more awareness. We're not even cognizant of it though, but we start to like subconsciously pick up on so much more in our environment because we have this like threat threshold that's much lower. I like to liken it to like, you know how when you're on your phone and things start slowing down and things start loading up and you can't watch videos and it's glitchy, and I'm always like, what is wrong? Like my phone is so janky. Like what is wrong with my phone? And one of my kids will inevitably take my phone and they're like, oh my gosh, Mom, like how many apps do you have open? Right. And so think about it, like mom brain is a brain with all the apps open but we're not conscious of it. And we wonder like, why do we walk in a room and can't remember why we walked in here? And why is my kid talking to me and all I'm hearing is Charlie Brown teachers going, rah, 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 rah. And why is it like I get so overstimulated? Or why did I drive away from Starbucks and I left the coffee on the hood of the car? Like we think we're going banana pants. And I get it. Like that's how we feel, but it's just how our mom brain is functioning so that we can make sure our kids stay alive. And if we're more understanding and learn strategies to work with our mom brain instead of against it, we can actually start getting amazing results in our life.
Yeah, I think that's so good to understand because I think a lot of us can be really, like you said, hard on ourselves when it comes to that. Like, why am I forgetting these things? Or I feel like I'm just living in this fog. And to understand, okay, there's actually something happening in our brain, and then we can extend ourselves that compassion. And I think sometimes too, what's been helpful for me is to understand that, like, as a human being, I have limitations. And one of those limitations among many, right, is just that I have a limited hard drive. It changes, right? It can be variable. I can expand my capacity and there are things that I can do that can shrink my capacity. But at the end of the day, I have limited capacity. And I think when we have a child or children, there's just so much new of everything, right? That's come into our awareness, our responsibilities, that that takes up so much space in our hard drive, and inevitably other things
Yeah.
start to kind of fall to the wayside because, like you said, they're just not as important as keeping our new babies alive.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's so true. Talk about capacity. And here's another
Yeah.
thing that's operating against you, Michelle. And it's this the basic, you have decision fatigue. Like my mom brain
Yes.
can't even think of the word. What is the word? Decision fatigue. Yeah, decision fatigue. Like my mom brain, like what? Look, it's even
Yeah.
showing up in this interview. My gosh. But what happens is the brain actually burns up more glucose than any other organ in the body. Think about
Mhm.
that when you're a mom,
Yeah.
10x it, because we live lives like most people live lives that are very routine, typical. We know, they know when they get up, they know when they go to bed, they know when they take a lunch break, they know
Yeah.
when they're doing a project, whatever, they know when they can take a break. A mom's life, by definition, whether you're working inside the home or outside the home, is very
Yep.
routine divergent. We don't know what we're
Yep.
going to wake up to. We don't know when we're going to take a break or if we're going to take a break. And we make so many decisions around this new life that we have that our brain just literally gets tired. We have decision fatigue. Normal people can make it to the end of the day. We make it till
Yeah.
that witching hour, about 4, 5, 6
Yeah.
o'clock.
Dinner time.
And we start making the worst decisions. Like, why am I yelling at my kids?
Yeah.
I did so good this morning. Why am I eating a platter of nachos like 30 minutes before dinner when, I was doing so well on my diet?
Yeah.
It's not because you lack willpower. It's not because you don't have it's not because you make bad decisions. It's not because your brain is literally just tired. And I think if we as moms could work with our life as well as work with our mom brain, we'll
Mhm.
find we don't have to maybe make so many decisions. We can set up
Yeah.
routines that work for us. Less decisions means you're a happier mom, basically, because you're
Right.
taking better
Yeah,
care of your brain.
simplifying, systemizing. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we have mom brain. It's a real thing. We can acknowledge that. Um,
Yeah.
and then with that awareness comes like what's next, right? Like what do we do with that? How do we make the most of it? How do we turn it into a
Yeah.
superpower? Because we see women who
Okay.
are raising children doing all of these amazing things. So
Yeah.
tell me about that.
Yeah, actually, I've broken it down to 3 shifts. If we can make these 3
Okay.
shifts and then keep it going, we're good. So listen up. Like if I know you're a mom listening to this, if you haven't been focusing, if you're distracted, here's the time to tune in to what Michelle and I are talking about. So number 1, you've got to interrupt the neural noise. Now, this is so important because you can't change something if you can't interrupt the pattern. Like it's like we know
Yeah.
inertia is a body at rest will stay at rest until acted upon by a force. So we have to interrupt the noise of our brain, and we can't do that internally. Like the Bible says to take every
Yeah.
thought captive, but it's like, okay, so how when you're a mom and all you're thinking about is like my kids, like me careening off a bridge, and I drown and everyone in the car and we can't escape, and we're like in this whole whirlpool of negativity. And we're like, how am I even here? Like I literally had this adrenal response just to my
Yeah.
imagination. Like I'm creating
Yeah.
all of this noise, and now I'm a horrible mom and I'm not enough. And I looked at the laundry over there and I can't, and I haven't folded laundry in 3 days and other moms can do it. I can't, like all this junk
Mhm.
thinking. It will continue until we interrupt it, but we can't interrupt a thought with a
Yeah.
thought because they're like on the same playing field. So what we have to do is we need an external cue to interrupt an internal pattern. Now, that can be a watch that goes off every hour to just say, okay, hold up, take a deep breath. What can I be grateful for? Or what's
Mhm.
working out for me? Or how am I showing up? Right. It could
Yeah.
be a rubber band you wear on your wrist. Like when you feel the tension happening, just like a quick snap, like, okay, wait, take a breath. You just need to interrupt that pattern. So when I
Yeah.
first started working to make over my mom brain, I wore a whistle around my neck. And every time I would get
Hmm.
stuck in that pattern of mom brain thinking,
Yeah.
everything's horrible, I'm failing, all the things, I would blow the whistle just enough to break the pattern. I just needed that pattern break so I could step out of my head for just a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that the neighbors probably thought I was a drill sergeant or just a crazy mom, or maybe both. Like, who says
You're
you
like,
can't be both,
Captain
right?
Von Trapp has moved in next
Oh my
door.
gosh, yeah, like all that stuff, right? Right. She answers to this sound, like everything was. So I'm sure the neighbors are like, "What, dude? What does that weird homeschool family do over there? Like, what is going on?" But I would literally like blow that thing every time. Every time I would feel the tension and the thoughts just enough to interrupt pattern. But that's not enough because we'll always go back to the old programming, right?
Mhm.
But so when we open that window, we have to do number 2, which is imagine. So we have to create like just a tiny shift. It doesn't have to be like this huge, amazing, great thought. It can be just
Mhm.
enough shift to move in a positive direction. So now you have to
Yeah.
think, what can I imagine that is better? What thought can I
Yeah.
hold that actually works for me? How can I affirm myself here? How am I blessed right now? Like you can go into a dirty kitchen and be like, I'm such a bad housekeeper. No one helps me out
Mm.
around here. Look at all these dirty dishes. No one respects me. We could think all that. Or we could think,
Yeah.
look at how I'm blessed I am. Like we
Yeah.
literally have food. Like there are leftovers. Like there are people in the country who don't even know the concept of leftovers. Like what? And so in
Yeah.
everything, because of the law of polarity, everything that exists that is negative also exists simultaneously with something that's positive. Every problem
Yeah.
we have exists simultaneously with a solution. So all it means is I'm going to direct my thoughts. Instead of fear, I'm going to go to faith. Instead of pain, I'm
Mhm.
going to go to pleasure. And so we get to determine that. And so that's the
Yeah.
second step. Like the first is interrupt. We got to break the pattern. But the second
Mhm.
step is we have to imagine and now redirect our thoughts.
Yeah.
But that's only 2 of the steps. Like the third step is we have to implement.
Yes.
So
Take
what that means
action.
is yes, girl, you got it. We got to take action.
Yeah.
So many people we stop there and we're like, okay, but nothing's changing in my environment. So we have
Yeah.
to learn how to take action around that.
Yeah, that's so good. I teach something similar. I use different words for it, but we have this awareness and then we gather information and then we have to take action on it. And that's
Yeah.
the step that so many people get stuck at, right? Like we have an awareness of patterns of thinking that aren't serving us well or whatever it is. And then we're so good at going out and like everyone listening to this podcast, like we gather information and we read the books but man, to actually like do it, to do the dang
Yeah.
thing, and
Right.
that's the only place that the magic happens, right? That's where the rewiring actually happens. Otherwise we're kind of like putting the key in the lock and we're turning the lock, but we're not opening the door. So I
Yeah.
love that you put it in this way of like, we got to interrupt, we've got to imagine, i.e. what do I want to replace this with, right? It's one thing to empty it out, but what am I going to fill it with? And then to actually
Yeah.
take the action. It's so good. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when it comes to mom brain, you said this mom brain makeover. Is that what you're calling this?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, I don't know if it's up right now, but I don't know when this airs. But if you go to Mom Brain Makeover, we're creating a whole program for moms for this. So
Very cool. I love that. And for people who have listened to the podcast for a while, they know about my joy alarms. And when you're talking about having something external to kind of trigger
yeah.
that interruption,
Mhm.
I didn't associate it with what I was actually doing, but that's what I'm doing, right? I have these alarms set up 4 times a day. And when they go off,
Yeah.
it's like, bam, joy alarm. And I take 30 seconds wherever I am. And I either like listen to a music or give myself a high five or do a dance or just plaster a smile on my face or whatever it is. But it's a celebration and it's a coming back of like, bring it back in, regroup,
Yeah.
let's reset, choose right how we want to show up and then go from there. What are some ways, like let's talk practical, like day-to-day scenarios that you see women stuck in these ruts or in these patterns where these 3 shifts would be really, really helpful?
Well, honestly, I think any woman who's experiencing stress,
Yeah.
if she started implementing these 3 steps, and then The fourth is something we get to after we've already learned, like, okay, I set up some routines, set up some habits,
Okay.
is we have to integrate it into our life in order to sustain it. But I think, I remember one time, Michelle, I was on this television show. I don't remember what it was, but I remember I was being interviewed, and the person who was interviewing me said, "Now you've come up with some really like pretty ingenious strategies on helping moms manage their stress. Can you
Yeah.
share some of those?" And I'm like, it was live too. That's so funny. And I was like, well, no, because I don't believe that moms need to manage their stress. And they're looking at me like, oh my God, like this is live. Like, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
where's this going? What is she talking
So I
about?
was like,
Right
I
here.
didn't expect that. And I said, no, I think moms truly have the power to eliminate their stress. We
Oh,
think we
wow.
have to manage it. And we're
All
taught,
stress?
yeah, we're taught by everyone. We're taught by doctors, specialists, or by media, like to manage stress. And I just don't
Yeah.
think if we had to manage stress, then Jesus wouldn't tell us we have an easy yoke. That is light, and it's easy to be born. And it, like, and my faith tells me something different. It's like, no, what if stress doesn't need to be a part of your life? Like, yes, in this world you will have trouble, but we can take joy because God's overcome the world. So if he's overcome the world, then why am I stressed? So I always think stress has its root in fear, and we just have to call it how it is. Like, stress is kind of an anesthetized word for fear. And every time we're holding fear, we are really making an agreement with a future we don't even want to have. And we're starting to put that into creation process. So it's like, do you want to live out this thing that you're imagining? Do you want to step into this stress that you're holding and make that real in your life? And the answer is always no. So then what do we do about it? We have to interrupt this fear, and we have to put something in its place that is something we do want to live out, that we do want to see happen in our life. And as soon as that happens, then we start a creation process. Like, we're moms. We're creators. We are vessels, right? Not just babies, but beliefs, the world, paradigms, like realities. We're always creating. So creation happens in your mind, right? Because, above all else, guard your heart, for out of it flow all the issues of life, Proverbs 4:23, I think. And so if we start to really guard our heart and what we're meditating on, we're going to find stress doesn't even need to play a role in the process. So I don't think we need to manage stress, and everything you're doing to manage stress could be just perpetuating stress. So what if we did something different? What if we worked in a way that worked with our mom brain? And now we could just have a life where stress doesn't have a vote.
I'm gonna have to think about this.
Hmm.
This is fascinating.
Hmm.
Okay, because I feel like there's probably a lot of women listening who are like, that sounds great. And I agree in theory, and I'm familiar with the scriptures and all of these things. But a lot of times when I try to talk myself out of these things, I end up actually bypassing what's actually going on. And like,
Yeah.
just trying to be positive when there's actually things going on in my life that actually feel stressful and are perceived as stressful by
Right.
my body, and I
Right.
can't just ignore them, right?
But think about it, Michelle, the things that are going on in your life that are producing stress, it just exists in your head. Like, the thing that you're holding stress around, the fear, is just happening in your head. Like, imagine, your child being sick. Okay. And
Yeah.
now you have to rush to the hospital. The reason there is such an intense fear response is your imagination took over, and the mom brain has an amazing imagination. Only problem, it uses it to create the worst case scenarios, and that makes us feel fear about a reality that we haven't yet stepped into. I remember when my mom was dying, and thinking, I'm not ready to let go of her. She's my best friend. I
Yeah.
can't do this. And all the fear, not grief. Grief is different, but all the
Mhm.
fear and the stress around that was just imagining a life without her. And I didn't have access to that reality. So I was imagining what it would feel like and what it would be like and how I would be without her and how I would long for her. And then you step into that reality and it's like, wait, I'm actually okay. As weird as that is, I'm
Yeah.
actually okay. It was just that all the emotion around what I don't know. Think about there's times, I don't know if you've ever been here, but there have been times we've gone through bankruptcy, we've gone through foreclosure, we've like all the things. And when you're seeing all these bills that you can't pay and there's insufficient funds and you're scrambling and you can't get groceries, like literally you have to put the groceries back and walk away from the store. That's stressful, but the only stress
Yeah.
exists in your mind when you're thinking, what does this look like for me? Let me fast forward. I'm living under a bridge. I'm telling the kids we have to move. Like all the things. None of this happened yet. Actually, you can get back in the car. You left your groceries there and take a deep breath and you're like, wait a minute, I'm okay. Someone's got some baby formula around here. I know someone can like loan me a little money so I can go buy Chick-fil-A. But all of a sudden, like those options aren't even there because you're so wrapped up in the stress and the anxiety and the overwhelm and the overstimulation that you think your life is over. Sorry, I'm getting really deep right now, but
Yeah. Yeah. All of those things are very, very stressful. And it can start in our head, but it also actually lives in our body, right? There's a physiological
yeah,
response to that stress too. So we
yeah,
can't really just
there
think
is.
our way out of all of it. Yeah.
But imagine
Okay.
that
I
with
want to
that
talk.
interruption, if you interrupt, okay, and you start to create a different thought, either you extract that old thought or you create a new thought,
Okay.
immediately the adrenaline and the cortisol levels go down. Okay, the serotonin and the dopamine levels come up, and then your body relaxes and you're able to actually get creative and think of solutions. You can't be creative in a fearful state.
No,
You can't do
no,
it. You can't think of solutions.
no,
You
you
can't move
can't.
forward. You're paralyzed.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Our mind is so powerful. It really is. And having that
It's everything.
being empowered in it, to choose our thoughts, that then have an impact on our physiology is so important to understand. I want to switch gears a little bit and I want to talk about mom fatigue. Because I know a lot of the women listening can resonate. And I guess I want
Yeah.
to start with, there are a lot of parts of parenthood, particularly in the beginning, that can be really tiring. And I want to talk about what the difference is between, having a poor night's sleep because the baby was up all night, and then
Right.
reaching this state. Like there's a threshold, right, between like being tired and then having what I'm assuming you're calling mom fatigue. There's a difference between the two. Is that true?
Well, yeah, because fatigue is basically based upon that decision fatigue that's happening, that how
Okay.
we've developed sort of a learned helplessness. Now, if you've ever studied the work of Martin Seligman, he was the founder of positive psychology. He did initial studies around using dogs, but it works for moms too. And what happens is when we try to change our lives, when we try to do something to get out of pain, and over it doesn't work, what happens is we create what he called learned helplessness.
Yeah.
So it's basically, if you could sum up learned helplessness in a sentence, it's I can't change it. Why even try?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and symptoms of that is chronic fatigue, free floating anxiety. That's that anxiety where you don't even know where it came from. It's just like, I'm just
Yeah.
feeling tense. It can show
Yep.
up as anger, like retaliation, like all these things show up in moms when they've tried things over and over and over to change their life and nothing's worked. Why try another diet? Why try another decluttering program? Why try another marriage retreat? Which just keeps on going back to bickering. Why try another parenting program? Why even try? So this is why it's so hard for moms to get enough hope to make the next decision. Like when people are coming into Mom Master University, that's my university for moms. It's called Mom Master University. When they come in there, I'm like, you just did the most phenomenal thing. First of all, like not you enrolling, but you believing in yourself enough to try again. Like that is
Yeah.
so huge because
Brave.
think about it.
Yeah.
All the budgets, the budgeting apps that we download, the diets we try to take, the workout programs, the day planners. Oh God, don't get me started on day planners. Like all of these things are not designed to work with our mom brain. And then we
Yeah.
fail and we think something's wrong with us. And so now we go back in a worse space. Not only do we fail to lose the weight, or we fail to balance the budget, or we fail to, organize our days, but now we feel like a failure and
Hmm.
shame starts to creep in there.
Yeah.
And that's where learned helplessness. I call it mom fatigue syndrome. It looks different in moms, but it still looks like that chronic fatigue, free floating anxiety, and like indirected anger. Like it's just all the things.
Well, yeah. And I think a lot of us, or maybe all of us, can think of times, right, where we've spent seasons or periods feeling that way, because it can
Oh,
be a
like in the
lot.
last 5 minutes, you should see me trying to
Yeah.
log into this podcast. I call my husband like, you were supposed to
Really?
set it up for me. I don't know how to log. Right? Like, and we have to be like,
Yeah.
okay, wait a minute. Like maybe it's okay here. Okay. Maybe
Yeah.
Michelle's super sweet and nice and understanding and a mom.
Real life. Real
Real life,
life.
sister. Real
That's
life.
right. Okay, so I think yes and yes, right? Mom fatigue syndrome. For the women listening that are just like, yep, she's describing a lot of things that I've experienced. And I get to this point where I'm like, what's the point anymore? It just doesn't work. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Whatever things we allow ourselves to think if we go down that road.
Yeah.
How do we start to overcome it? I love these 3 shifts, but what are some other things that we can start to do?
I think we have to trust ourselves enough that it's not going to
Yeah,
stay this way.
I love that.
Like sometimes
Yeah,
just understanding it's just a chapter, and
that's
and
right.
I will make it through this chapter. It's just a
Yeah.
chapter. And if we can get that kind of, it's not fatal and it's not permanent, it's just
Yeah.
right now, we can get that second win, enough to like help us through that day, through that hour, through those 2 weeks, whatever that looks like. You'll make it through the other side.
Mhm.
But how do you come out? Like we have to come
Yeah.
out more hopeful. We have to come out saying, I made it through that. Dang, I am
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
You
And then
know?
on the other side, seeing all the lessons in it, right? Like that's
Oh
the
yeah.
faith
And
part of
then
it.
that's the faith part. And then sharing that with other people. Like
Mhm.
it's funny. I was thinking about that this morning, Michelle. I was on a hike. I usually try to do like a 3-mile hike about 4 or 5 mornings a week. And I was on this hike. And I was remembering like there's leaves all over the place, right? Because we're right in the
Mhm.
middle of fall right now. And I remember last fall, my husband went on the hike with me. And I just laughed because I do this hike all the time, the same 3-mile hike. And this was his first time. And he's following me. And he's like, are you sure you know where you're going? Are, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I do. I do this all the time. But there's like no path here. Are you
Mm.
sure? I'm like, yes, I know where I'm going. And so when we make it through, whatever that hike looks like, it could be the loss of a loved one. It could be financial
Yeah.
constraints. It could be a hard marriage that you had to let go of. It could be kids growing up. It could be a rebellious period. Whatever that is, sister, we all have them. And when you
Yeah.
make it through that hike, and then you go back and I'm going to tear up thinking about this. You go back and you find another mom and you link
Mm.
arms with her and you say, come on, I know the way. And
Yeah.
I got choked up because I think about all the moms who came to me later and they said, Hannah, I didn't want to live anymore. Or I thought we were going to have
Wow.
a divorce, or I've never had a good communication with my kid. And all of a sudden, because you're willing to go back and you're willing to walk through it, say, look, I know this terrain. This is where you turn left.
Mhm.
This is where you turn right. This is going to be a little steep, but I got you. When you walk through that, you
Beautiful.
help another mom get out the other side. And think about if
Mhm.
we just had that mentality as a nation of moms and we
Yeah.
all linked arms, right? How much
Yeah. It's
unity
really
and power and
powerful.
authority we would walk in.
Yeah.
Sorry, got a little emotional.
Oh, don't be
I
sorry.
love
It's
what I do.
beautiful. Yeah, I do too. I mean, you're passionate about this and I think a couple of things. One, so much of this can be so isolating. right? So
Yeah.
when we can share
Yeah.
our experiences and
Yeah.
say like, hey, I've been there too, and it was really rough, and
Right.
he took me through it, and he's going to take you through it too.
Right.
One, and then two, it's the power of our testimony, right? There's
Yes.
so much that he can use through that, to just have the boldness and the courage to share our story, because we really are designed to do motherhood and life in community, and with
Yeah.
others. And that's part of the reason why, right? To just have that
Absolutely, sister.
camaraderie. Beautiful. Okay. Tell the people listening, what you've got going on. I know you have a mom
Yes.
boot
Mom
camp,
boot camp.
mom
So
boot camp
yeah.
challenge. Tell us.
Yeah. So go to mombootcamp.com. I work with you for a week just to get you started in this. And also like hit me up on Instagram because there's no AI, there's no robot. That's me. I don't have a team answering that. And I love personal relationships with moms. So if you have a problem, if something's going on, just reach out to me, like DM me on Instagram. Literally, you're not going to get a bot. Okay. It's going to be me. And, it may not always be that accessible, but I want to be there for you and help you in whatever chapter you're in. But yeah, go to
Beautiful.
mombootcamp.com. Let's get started.
Awesome. We will link, I'll link both your Instagram account in the show notes so that people can reach out to you and connect. And then we'll also put the link in the show notes for the Mom Boot Camp. That sounds like an awesome place to start if you want to keep learning from Hannah, and the work that she's teaching that has helped so many women. So thanks for being with us. I'm going to leave you with the last word. What would you like to share? Maybe a piece of encouragement or something that really resonated with you and helped. I know you've raised 7 kids of your own, but
Yeah.
just something to leave the women with that are listening.
Well, one of my mantras, we've gone really deep. I'm not going to go deep. We've gone deep enough in this podcast.
We love
One
deep,
of
yeah.
my, we did deep. One of my favorite mantras that I've told myself throughout all the years of parenting is sloppy success beats perfect failure.
Come on.
And if we have to do it everything, and if we have to do it all perfectly, oh my God, like perfect doesn't even exist.
Forget
So
it.
I want to invite you to just experience a little bit of sloppy success, just little
Messy.
steps.
Enjoy the mess.
Enjoy the
so
mess,
good.
baby.
I love that. Oh, that's such a good reminder, all of us. Man, thanks again. Thanks for the work that you're doing. Thanks for the message that you carry and share, a message of empowerment, and really giving women, moms, really practical tools that I think have an impact, on legacy, right? It's big work that we do as moms. So thanks for being such a big voice in that space. So good to have you on the show today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.